Damon Lindelof and Tom King discuss the death of Hal Jordan. So this is a clip. It's pretty long, but it'll give you some perspective on what we're going to see this season. This is from the Collider YouTube channel. Let me just play this clip from, it has to be a junket interview, but let's go.
Back to the Hal of it all. I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up the way the premiere ends with a moment that I think is going to surprise some viewers. I know we can't obviously get into how everything's going to wrap up. I haven't even seen the finale yet, so I can't even ask you about that. But what I will ask is whether there's any reassurance you can offer fans who might be confused, maybe a little upset, by that particular story choice and how it's going to play out throughout the season.
Well, I've had no experience with the fans being upset with me or confused by anything that I've ever done. So that'll be a first, and I'll just have to kind of learn the ropes.
He's joking because Damon Lindelof seems to always be at the center of when fans are pissed off about something.
Yeah, you mean screwing the pooch with the last season of Lost?
Yeah, or Prometheus, or anyways.
Clearly Carlton Cuse was the mastermind behind Lost, because I think he went on to do the first season of Westwood or Westworld.
Yeah, let's this is long clip, but let's go.
I feel like you just admitted to not opening my emails.
And you haven't been through that either.
No, never. No.
Look, I think that, in all seriousness, the first thing that, Tom and I sort of looked at each other when we were even kicking around the idea of killing Hal. And we're like, we can't do that. Everyone's going to hate us. And it feels gimmicky. And then, but Mundy actually was like, I don't think that it does feel gimmicky. I think that it will actually sort of infuse the entire story with a lot of emotionality, especially if the audience understands that John and Hal were not in a good place at the time that Hal died. And maybe like traditionally in comic books, my understanding is that like that these characters can't die. And like but if we're doing something that's supposed to be grounded, like maybe this is something that we have to do. And then we're like, yeah, but we're still going to get blamed for it. But we gradually started kind of coming around to it. And I think because we were so reluctant to do it, and because we're fans, and like at the same time, like we get our turn to run with the baton of these amazing characters, but also just as fans, Hal means something to us too. So I think that we basically started reframing the question in terms of, yes, on Sunday night, are we willing to acknowledge that a lot of people are going to be angry, that if we were watching this and not making it, that we would be saying, I waited this long for another live action version of Hal, haven't gotten him since the Ryan Reynolds film. And then basically like 50 minutes after getting me to fall in love with Kyle Chandler, you're killing him off. Fuck you.
I agree. Fuck you.
And I guess our feeling is, let's see how you feel at the end of episode 8. And if you still feel like it was exploitative or unnecessary, or that it wasn't exactly what had to happen in order for this story to get told, then then it's on us.
Well, is he teasing that Hal isn't dead? He's saying wait till episode 8.
No, I think I think that statement is, like I said, if by the episode 8 you thought it was a bad idea, then sorry, it was on us.
But I think we're willing to absorb a little the booze from the audience in the first inning, as long as we still have a shot at winning the game.
Yeah, and just say that I'm with the audience here. Like I love Hal. Like I adore that character. I adore writing him. I don't know if you've met Kyle Chandler. He's fairly charming.
Very charming.
And he's absolutely wonderful. And I want, but I was the guy who turned off the show after the Red Wedding, was like, never again. And then so like I have been there, and I may have even yelled at the television over Lost once or twice.
Reasonable.
And but yeah, this is a show that we're trying to make as close to reality, and sometimes you lose the things you love, and sometimes the stakes are that high in reality, and they're supposed to be that high in our show. And so as much as I love that, in making a show that is about that's about the real world, that's about sort of our loves and our losses, we have to write about the losses. And so the love and the loss are both part of this story.
Well, there it is, Alan. Do you think, I think he's teasing, there's two ways this could go. Is he teasing that Hal returns in episode 8? He's not really dead. That all the theories, hologram, shapeshifters, a shapeshifter who changed into Hal, that's who is dead there at the end of episode 1. What do you think?
You're coping real hard here. You really don't want him to be dead, do you?
No, I want there to be. Look, as a lifelong comic book reader, I can tell you countless times that characters died and came back in clever ways, and sometimes not so clever.
Right.
I mean, even watching the old serials like Flash Gordon, Buster Crab, it would look like they're dead at the end, and then the next episode they're fine.
Right. The next episode. Got it. The next episode.
Right.
Look, to me, killing a superhero, especially a well-known superhero, was always a big deal, especially in the comic books. It was something that was never taken lightly, so there had to be a true story build up behind it. Death of Electro was one of them. But also what always follows is years later, massive regret for having killed the character. That's it's not like Hal is the first superhero that got killed in a movie or a TV show, but the thing is, it feels like it's becoming the thing you have to do on every show and every series. Someone's got to die. Some majorly loved character must die, and it now becomes the trope. And again, they say it keeps it grounded and keeps it with drama, but in all cases, when it happens in the comic books, there's always regrets, and they always find some stupid way to bring them back. Thus, Doomsday and Secret Wars.
But here's why I think people are extra upset. We're tired of it.
Yes.
We watched Han Solo get a lightsaber to the chest in the first Star Wars sequel, never reunited Han, Luke, and Leia. Then they killed Luke. Then they killed Leia.
Wow.
You know what?
Yeah.
We don't like it.
Yeah.
Maybe stop doing it. Now, if they cleverly have Hal go off, maybe a farewell, there's nothing wrong with Hal flying, riding off into the sunset of some other galaxy. If it ends that way and he's alive, that's great. If it's going to end like this, as some, adult grounded, was anyone who's ever read a Green Lantern comic ever saying, you know what this needs to be? Where you can have a ring that makes where someone's giving you the finger, which happened in Superman, the movie for kids. I mean, is this the goofiest? Green Lantern had goofy powers with what you could make out of the by sheer will with the ring. Okay, it's goofy. You gonna make that grounded? He's making bottle openers and cash. I just.
Well, it also shows that these guys can't write because you can go into space and still have a grounded story. You can tell an actual Green Lantern story and make it grounded, so where you don't have to be on Earth and be amongst all these racists and clan members. It just shows you that people no longer have faith in actual fantasy and science fiction anymore.